Hey everyone, welcome to another preview and predictions video. The team that we're going to be taking an in-depth look at today is our 2024 NC State Wolfpack football team. We're going to do a complete preview of the roster. We're going to see which pieces they added from last year's team, which pieces they lost from last year's team, but we're also going to look at their entire 2024 schedule, seeing which games we think they're going to win, lose, and what we predict their final score will be. And we're going to go game by game looking at every single one of those and breaking them down. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below and I will make sure to respond. So our 2024 NC State Wolfpack. Vegas, to kind of give us a floor of what we're going to be basing everything on. Vegas has them coming in at 8.5 wins this season. That's actually a pretty solid season right there. So they have them hovering just under 9 wins. That would be a great follow-up campaign from where they left off last year. Now, much props to the head coach, Dave Doran. He had a really strong team last season. They performed well on the defensive side. They performed well on the offensive side. The team should be better in both phases with another year in these schemes. They always have a solid defense. They always have a good run game. They always are very strong in the trenches. This is really good that he's been able to build this team, get NC State on the map. Why do some people say they're on the map? They're starting out our 2024 season in the top 25. Final AP poll came out this weekend. They are ranked. That's a good thing. Starting out the year with some eyes on you. As you continue to win, hopefully you'll continue to rise in the polls. Solid team last season, should be better this season. For the offensive coordinator, Robert Anae, they have another year in his scheme. They kind of started out last year pretty slow, but as the year was progressing, they were getting better and better on offense from the middle to the end of last season. So they should be a lot more efficient on the offensive side. They've been consistent for the last few years on defense. They just need to keep that performance steady. Keep your great performance on the defensive line, linebacker cores. Keep that up. That's going to keep the games close, keeping them within striking distance of your offense as your offense continues to improve coming into this season. Last season, this team progressed very well, as I mentioned, getting better from the middle point through the end of the season. But the biggest news the offseason is in comes Coastal Carolina transfer quarterback Grayson McCall. Yes, that's the same guy that seems like he's been playing college football for 10 years now. He's been around college football a really long time. He's an experienced quarterback. He has won before. His last couple seasons haven't been as good as they were back in back in 2020 and 2021. But still, he can throw, and he's also a mobile quarterback. So that's going to add some new elements to this offense. They also have wide receiver Conception. He made his name known last season. This guy can do everything. He's a pass catcher. He can take handoffs. They actually drew up some plays where he received the ball last year on the snap, ran the ball, ran the Wildcat. They can use him in multiple different ways. He kind of stands out to me like a Percy Harvin type player. So he can change the element of the game. They're going to feed him the ball, get him the ball as much as you can. He's a difference maker for this offense. The best offensive player that McCall obviously has ever played with. They also added the Ohio State transfer Noah Rogers. They added Duke transfer Jordan Waters. So there's some playmakers there. If the passing game gets better, they should also be getting better on the running side of the game. Defense is always solid. The linebacker, Peyton Wilson, he is gone. He was a Butkus Award winner. So obviously him being gone is a massive loss, but they still should be able to pick up where they left off. The defense is capable of living up to the expectations of past years. You have the linebacker, Cleveland, safety, Aiden White. You have defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson. He's going to have his work cut out for him, being able to match the performance they usually have on defense. But this is going to be a very skilled, very talented team. Let's go ahead and take a look at their schedule. They kick things off Thursday, August 29 versus Western Carolina. There's obviously not much to say there. This should be a beatdown. They should win this game. It's probably going to be like a 38-13, and they're 1-0. Next game that we're going to be looking at is Saturday, September 7th versus Tennessee. This is a really interesting game because a lot of people who only watch SEC football, they're going to say that Tennessee is going to come in there. They're going to beat NC State easily. I don't see it that way. NC State, just like Tennessee, they're both ranked teams. Anything can happen. Both squads are very talented. Yes, Tennessee does have a top 15 roster. You have Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive play callers. You have Nico at quarterback. You have Squirrel White. They can run, throw, play defense. But NC State plays solid defense as well. They're going to have an improved offense. Their defense should be able to keep this game close within striking distance. And when it's that close, a 1 or 2 possession game, technically anything can happen. But I will be going with Tennessee winning this one in a closer one. Let's put it at a 30-24, and NC State is 1-1. Next game is going to be Saturday, September 14th versus Louisiana Tech. They run the air raid. If the defense doesn't play well that game, it could potentially turn into a shootout. But I'm going to go with NC State getting a comfortable win, 30-20, and they're 2-1. Next game after that, Saturday, September 21st at Clemson. Probably their most difficult game of the year next to the Tennessee game. Clemson's going to have a top 10 defense. They have one every season. Very talented squad. You have Dabo as the head coach. But all things come down to Klubnik. How improved will Klubnik be in this offense? Another year, same scheme, running back Maffa. I think Clemson's defense is so deep, so strong in the trenches. They're going to be able to run the ball on NC State, even though NC State has a very good defense. I think Klubnik will perform just well enough to get them the win in a close game, 33-27, and NC State's 2-2. If you're an NC State Wolfpack fan, don't worry, they're going to right the ship. Saturday, September 28th versus Northern Illinois. This is obviously going to be a win here. They're going to rebound. They're going to win this one pretty comfortable. Let's put it at a 48-17 game. They're 3-2. Next game, we're going to be Saturday, October 5th versus Wake Forest. This is not Sam Hartman's Wake Forest. This is a Wake Forest that does not play sound offense. They don't play sound defense. There's going to be a talent gap here. They're going to be able to beat them. Look for Grayson McCall to have a big game. Let's put it at a 45-20 game, and they're 4-2. So they're starting to get better. They're probably back in the top 25 at this point. Saturday, October 12th versus Syracuse. Syracuse has Kyle McCord coming over. He's going to have a solid season. He's not a difference maker, but he's probably going to be their best quarterback they've had in some time. But I have NC State. Now, Syracuse can easily win this game. They're kind of a surprise team in the ACC. They have a very easy schedule this year. But I'm going to go with the Wolfpack getting the win. Let's put it at like a 38-23, and the Wolfpack is 5-2. Next game of the season, Saturday, October 19th at California. Traveling all the way to the West Coast, playing Cal. Cal actually has a really good rushing attack. They averaged 220 yards per game on the ground last season. They can run the ball. They have a decent defense, an average defense, but their rushing game is going to keep a lot of their games close, but that's going to play into NC State's strength. They always have a good defensive line. If you're trying to beat them solely running the ball, it's not going to be good enough. You're going to have to beat them vertically through the air. Look for the Wolfpack to win this one 40-24. They're 6-2. Next game, Saturday, November 2nd versus Stanford. Another new team to the ACC coming over from the Pac-12. Stanford, if they're just not good enough, they're going to be able to beat them and look for the Wolfpack to win this one. Probably a 37-20 game, and they're 7-2. Next game of the season, Saturday, November 9th versus Duke. Duke is going to be an interesting team. Mike Elko is gone. Riley Leonard's gone, but you have Murphy transferring over at quarterback from Texas. You have Manny Diaz taking over as the head coach. Their defense is obviously going to be their strength. He's going to get the defense right, but NC State's a lot more ahead of them right now. NC State wins this one 42-24, and they're 8-2. Next game of the season, Thursday, November 21st at Georgia Tech. This is kind of a iffy game right here. Georgia Tech won 8 or 9 games last season. You have King back at quarterback, and actually a really talented roster that did not get enough credit last season. I have Georgia Tech beating NC State. Georgia Tech will be at home. It will be towards the end of the season. NC State's been going on a run, so they're due for a loss here. But versus a very good Georgia Tech team, very close game. They lose 31-30, and they're 8-3. Final game of the season, Saturday, November 30th at North Carolina. North Carolina, obviously, they're going to have Max Johnson as the quarterback. Mac Brown. They're going to be, I think, a more efficient offense, not knocking Drake May. They just put too much on him last season. I think with him being on, they'll be more efficient. They'll be more consistent. Their defense will be a lot better with their new defensive scheme that they'll be running. and I could easily see the Tar Heels winning this game. They're an 8 or 9 win team themselves. These games are very similar. It's a rivalry game, in-state matchup. But I'm going to go with the Wolfpack to finish the season on a high note to beat UNC in a close game. It's going to be a 30-27. I have NC State winning the final matchup of the year, finishing the regular season 9-3. So Vegas has them coming in at 8.5 wins. I'm going with the over. I have them finishing the regular season 9-3. 9 wins. That could potentially get you in the ACC championship, but either way, that's another really good season. You win the bowl game, that's a 10-win season. That's our breakdown of the Wolfpack. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.